In the last few years, scientists have noticed that the life cycle and transmission of infectious agents have been tied to climate change. This connection is causing vast changes in the severity of these diseases. A common example that the article refers to is human malaria and other vector-borne infections in humans. Before we get started, we need to identify a few key terms. Bacteria, the simplest and smallest form of life. Bacteria exist in large numbers in air, water, and soil, and also in living and dead creatures and plants, and are often a cause of disease. Viruses, a living thing too small to be seen without a microscope that causes disease in people, animals, and plants. Parasites, a small animal or plant that lives on or inside another animal or plant and gets its food from that animal or plant. Predicting the consequences of climate change on infectious agents remains a continuous problem. Climate-based envelope models. These models describe the relationship between species, occurrences, and variables such as temperature and precipitation. Mechanistic models. These models are based on the application of a law describing the behavior that constitutes the modeled system. Variation. Climate responses within host pathogen relationships based on their life history characteristics and how they adjust to the temperature. All of these models have a few complications and can cause difficulties in determining the interactions and the following response to that interaction among pathogens, hosts, and climate change.
A host-pathogen relationship refers to the interactions between a virus, bacterium, or parasite and its host body. These relationships are generally parasitic, meaning that one party benefits at the expense of another. As temperatures increase, the normal bodily immune defenses for hosts will become less effective. Complex organisms, such as humans, are generally sensitive to temperature, so climate fluctuations will wreak havoc on their immune responses. Most pathogenic species will benefit and become more fit as temperatures increase, however. Pathogens have shown evidence of earlier and faster cell development as temperatures rise. Not only do they develop to maturity faster, but compromised host immunity allows for easier invasion and replication as well. The metabolic theory of ecology, otherwise known as the MTE, is a collection of theories that examines biological factors such as body size, temperature, and metabolism to form connections and make predictions about how species will react to future and current ecological stimuli. Climate change, for example, is a stimuli that can be accounted for with the MTE. Scientists can use the behavioral changes seen in seasonal temperature fluctuations, as well as the biological responses of clade members, to accurately predict how a species will react to climate change.
Community ecology, biodiversity, and climate change. In diverse communities, there are host pathogen interactions that may be decreasing due to climate change. The extinction of pathogens and the decrease of endemic parasites that have occurred due to climate change could wipe out diseases or release more pathogens, which puts host communities at risk. For example, the Caribbean island is a disease hotspot with emerging pathogens that have caused precipitous coral declines. Climate change-induced changes have a heavier impact when the host is a dominant or a keystone species. For example, rickettsial disease, which has been linked with warming, caused community shifts along trophic levels, causing herbivorous abalone to come close to extinction. Another example is the infection within the protus Labyrinthula zostrae, which correlates with warming, which has declined the seagrass population, which has also caused nursery habitats for fish and waterfowl to decrease as well as lead to extinction of the eel grass limpet.
In microbial communities, raising temperature affects both commensal and mutualistic microbes. Commensal microbes are in a type of relationship in which one microbe benefits without affecting the other. On the other hand, mutualistic microbes are when two are in a relationship in which both benefit. Raising temperatures can affect these by causing a shift from mutualistic to pathogenic in the microbial community. Furthermore, increasing temperatures affects the diversity and function of the mutualistic and commensal microbes, promoting pathogenic growth and pest outbreaks. Biodiversity loss has many effects on species, communities, and infectious disease. Without a doubt, biodiversity loss is the consequence of climate change. For diseases in human and other species, biodiversity loss can severely increase pathogen transmission rates. This can be the effect of several mechanisms, such as loss of the dilution effect. This is demonstrated in the case of lower diversity of parasites. This allows for more pathogenic species to proliferate when endemic and competing parasites are lost from the system. Additionally, climate change can result in a weakening of biotic regulation of disease vectors through inhibiting predators and competitors.
Climate change is causing mass adaptorial switches between interactions among ecosystems. Phenology is the study of seasonal phenomena concerning climate, animals, and human life. Migration periods over the years have steadily changed due to climate, therefore moving to higher elevation rates. This changes the disease dynamic. Phenological changes are a disruption in the annual cycle of migration and are sensitive to climate. Climate change is affecting development stages by altering the typical developmental period of animals. Overall, as climate change wreaks havoc on the earth, animal patterns will shift concerning their adaptability. Human activity has played a large role within the ecosystem and has led to extinction among wildlife and illness within the human race. Wildlife diseases can be spread in many ways, such as foodborne, direct contact, etc. Forecasting is vital to the overall disease and climate models to determine future implications of early warning programs. Overall, the conservation efforts are for the benefit of sustainability and human health.
For outlook and future challenges, 1 and 2 go hand in hand. Keeping the global temperature down can help with many problems around the world like ocean acidic levels, ice melting, and climate and infectious diseases. Our global footprint is our effect on the earth. Humans are using more resources than the earth can replenish. Our use of earth materials is causing many effects as listed before. These are altering host parasitic dynamics and causing endemic Arctic species unable to compete or adapt rapidly enough to survive, which is causing a declining population. With our current situation now, diseases have already been changing. Since disease affects a lot of factors like food, water, and population, predicting the future can help us understand what will happen in the long run. Possible solutions for these would be building an understanding. This will allow us to be involved and find new responses to these changes that will be effective. These go for new and current diseases. Another solution would be surveillance programs. These can detect pathogens and disease emergences and be capable of predicting local scale impacts that could eventually affect the global scale.